Hey guys, what's up? This is Unicorn Travie. I'm a multifaceted creative director, and this is The Dan Show.
All right. How's it going?
It's going, man.
It's so good to see you.
You too.
It's been a while since we have connected.
Yeah.
But like the past few guests, I've been using this show as a way to catch up and hang out.
That's so fucking cool, man. Can I? Sorry.
Yeah.
Of
course. Oh yeah. Oh man.
Shit. Okay, cool. I'm like,
Cool. Of course. So yeah, I'm so glad you could take the time to come out and record with us. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, I met in the end of 2017, New Year's Eve, and it was at one of our good friend Steve-O's New Year's Eve party.
Yes.
Which, man, time has just flown by.
What year was that?
It was 28. Well, New Year's going into 2018. So the end of 2017 is when that was.
That was a minute ago.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Shout out to Steve-O. Steve-O is heavy in the Atlanta streets. You probably just two degrees of separation from him at all times, for real. But we met there and we became cool, just very naturally.
Yeah.
And I got to get to know you and a lot of your talents, like the art, the creative direction, the clothing. You are into a lot of really cool things, and even photography. I think is the main thing that I was super impressed at you by, because it seems like the things you do just in a very flowing manner. It's not like. It's like, yeah, I got this. Like, I very much got this. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's good to see you. And tell the people a little bit about the kind of stuff you do and create.
Okay. Well, hey, guys. Dan's been calling me by my real name.
Right, I'm sorry.
We'll bleep it out.
I go by Unicorn Travie, so do not come up to me and say, because no. Unicorn Travie or Travie. It's fine. But yeah, so I am a multifaceted creative. I have been referred to as a creative supernova, and I just like to do a lot of different things creatively. Like, that's just my strong suit, everything from painting, like I host paint and sips and just paint murals and different things like that. I also work in set design for film. I direct my own films, music videos, actual films, short films. It's a broad range of things. And it's not, I don't know why it's like that, but I went to arts high school. That definitely helped. I've always been into music and just into media and entertainment. Like, it's just always been a thing for me, but art is more of like my heart, so putting those two together, it's just like a wave.
So have you always been like artistically inclined? At like, is painting and stuff something you always were good at, or was there a point in life where you became interested in that?
I definitely, so from a young age, yeah, I've always been interested in like painting for sure. I used to swim and I used to watch movies and like listen to music. My parents, I don't think they realize it, but they definitely influenced my music. Like, my dad, he had like Tupac and NWA and all these different like projects that he would have just like in his room, along with like the VHS movies. Telling my age.
Oh man.
The what movies?
Right.
Right, all those. So having that and just having access to that stuff was just like, wow, like it was so impactful. And for about 10 years, I was the only child, so I was just like in my own space, like whatever. So I would read a lot too, and yeah, it just really set the tone for me. And actually, when I was 14, I think, I was going to high school, and one of my really good friends at the time, her mom was a stylist for a major artist, and she ended up taking both of us backstage. It was a scream tour with like Bow Wow, BTK, all these guys, like, or B5, my bad. And I mean, my friends and I were obsessed with them anyway. So we're like, oh my God, like they're so, we like them. I was definitely going to marry one of them, It was a whole thing.
Which one you had your eye on?
Patrick from B5.
Uh-huh.
I thought he was hot. Super hot, but whatever.
None of them kids.
Right. Anyway,
where's Patrick now?
Right. I think he's doing well. I think they're still doing stuff. But so yes, went to the Scream tour, and it changed my life. I mean, I was already a creative, but I never knew, like, I've always just felt kind of stuck when I have to make a decision about which one, and it's like, I don't know why. So at the Scream tour, I know I walked over by the stage. I got to experience that, like the lights and like, the crowd. Oh, it was just crazy. And then I got to, I mean, everything from the styling part to the person's hair getting done to just meeting the other artists to being near and on the stage, and all of that, like, really just like stuck with me in some way.
And what age is that again?
That was like 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
So like shit got real since in that moment. I was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. I don't know in what capacity, but I want to be here, And so after that, I ended up going to arts high school, Carver School of the Arts in Atlanta. It's not the same anymore, but that is the high school that I attended. And
Carver, wow.
Yeah, and like my core circle there, like we're all like very extremely, like we bleed creativity, like one of my friends, Peter, I think I introduced you to him, like a couple of just my friends from high school, like we're all like in a very creative space. Taylor, to show me, like all of them are doing amazing things. Inde, like we're all like deep in the creative space.
So you're from Atlanta, right?
Yes, I was born in Atlanta.
That's awesome. And what do you think about Atlanta in terms of its progression from what it was to what it is now?
It's definitely been a transition. Looking at it from one perspective, one could say like old school Atlanta versus new school, or OG, like, Southern hospitality, grandma's going to the grocery store, Atlanta, and versus now, which is like people are like, scared to leave their homes. Yes, for, the pandemic, but then also, just crime rates, with the younger crowd and all that. So that's definitely impacted, like, just the feeling that the city gives, the energy that's here. So yeah, I think that's been a big thing for me. I've noticed that, as well as the nightlife.
How do you feel Atlanta was for a young creative, realizing that you were interested in the industry? How has being in Atlanta helped you to be able to maneuver and meet the people who you have met over the years, over your creative journey?
Yeah, well, it's been interesting. I mean, I definitely like being exposed to a lot of different markets in the industry. So like just being in Los Angeles, I actually lived there for a while. I studied at USC, and then I came back to Atlanta. So Los Angeles is like a second home for me. But being in that market for a little bit, working with different artists out that way, working just in different spaces in that market, that definitely, altered how I would do business in a sense. Same moving around in New York on tours and different things like that have definitely like opened my mind creatively and business professionally. So when I come back to Atlanta and I'm like moving and having certain conversations and showing people my work and like, all that, they're more, I guess they're just more, the respect has kind of gotten there a little bit, and so I'm able to like maneuver a little more. But the business in Atlanta is a little different though, I must say. Like, it's not as structured as some, and that is something that at first I was really concerned with. It does make it easier to move, but I feel like it has thus made us lower our standard of what is needed to survive in this industry. So,
not the level of professionalism.
Yeah, all that is just like, we could use that. That would pipe this shit up even more, if things were actually structured and
so
nice.
Don't fizzle out.
The business side, not the creative side. Let us creatives do our thing, but the business side, like, keep that shit simple, A, B to C, so that everything can like flow and,
Well, I was gonna ask, as a young woman in the industry, what kind of roadblocks or what kind of like things do you notice that are difficult as a young woman compared to like the next person doing the same lane of creativity as you?
Yeah. It's interesting. Definitely, like, knowing when and how to speak to people. I was actually just having a really good conversation about this earlier today. And just being on a set, in a male-dominated industry, just say the medium we're discussing is film photography, film photography. So being on set as a woman, you already have to kind of, people try to make you feel like sometimes that you have to prove what you're doing. Like, oh, well, what do you do? And then they're going to check your work and see what you got going on and all these questions. You know what I'm saying? I've been on so many sets where I was the director and people was like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, like, maybe I stayed out too late last night and I still have to direct this thing, but that doesn't mean I have to walk in here and, hey, but I'm going to do my job or whatever the case may be. So, in those moments, it's like you don't see that happening, with men in that way. I've been talked over on my own sets. I've been, and that's just from the production side. You also have the artists and the managers and these people. Like, the respect is not always there. It's definitely something you have to like work towards, and also learn to have that thick skin and to just not take those things personal. Sometimes it's tough, but you have to like just stick with it. And that's back to that professionalism part too, because that's not established really. It's not often that I'm around other people that think that way. So
too many bosses, not enough workers.
Everyone. Too many. What's the saying? Too many Chiefs,
not enough Indians.
There we go. Too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. And I'm very collaborative. Like, I definitely, am stern on what I want or assertive about things that I want. But I love hearing other people's perspectives, like, on different stuff, just so I can like. That's just how my brain is. I love hearing other people's perspectives on shit. It keeps your mind open, and clear. So.
How do you feel about, well, we can ask Travie, not that first pesky word that I said.
We're not going to bring it back.
I said that and she immediately bust out laughing like, I should punch this nigga.
Only a few
we need
people
to start over.
Can call me that. And Dan is one, but only a few people. I don't want people to get too comfortable too soon.
Gotcha.
First of all, is the word female okay to say?
I'm okay with female.
Okay.
I'm not, I'm in an interesting
and that
space
wasn't
with
just
that
my
comment,
question, but I'm wondering
okay.
how you felt about it. Because the question I was going to ask is, how do you feel about the female presence and when it comes to directing, whether it be, videos or shows or big scale stuff? You're starting to see more than what it used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
But do you still feel like there's a long way to go? Or is it become a more fair balance now that we live in like a content overload age? So I feel like it's not enough. Like, you can gatekeeping exists in like certain realms and industries if that's your trying to tap into, but like for the most part, no one can tell you no these days if you truly got your stuff together.
Yeah.
So I just wonder, how do you feel about the female presence and when it comes to directing?
I freaking love it, man. I think that, entertainment media. One of the reasons why I even fell in love with entertainment and creating is because the largest import export is, you know, entertainment media. It's what people are receiving through the airwaves, whether that be audio, visual, books, like all that shit, you know, spreads, all that. It's, you know, how we reach others. So that's why I wanted to be involved with it, just to be, you know, powerful and if I want to reach the masses, I think this is the best way to do it. And seeing more women involved, it's been really cool. Like, I do think that we have a ways to go in terms of like I think there's some inequalities that happen. I'm not fully aware because I'm more on the independent side. So getting in, like, I was just about to get into film, like heavy, then COVID hit, and it was like, damn, like, I gotta wait, like, all right, because they went crazy with the film shit with the COVID. It was like, damn, like, I literally had 3, like, month, and they all, like, ended up dropping. So, but all that to say, like, I think that, you know, I'm not quite sure what all those are. It could be, I mean, it's a multitude of, you know, like what I was telling you about how men, you know, a lot of times are paid a certain amount more, or it's easier for male directors to get a fucking budget. You know what I'm saying? A bigger budget. I've had some pretty solid budget videos, but I mean, it's a struggle. Sometimes send me your work, blah, 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 blah. Like, even if I was introduced to them through someone else or whatever, like,
it's like you feel like you have to seek people's approval, whereas that don't be the case.
You have to prove yourself
somewhere else. Because if you are presented as like the lead on this project or the director, that's the approval right there.
That should
right?
be it.
Right.
It shouldn't be
so
anything.
I can see how that be the case. And you know, you gotta. Guys are dumb. Not all of us, but in general, we're just stoned men. We're just fucking cavemen. We're not far off. So sometimes it just be like, hey, no. Go ahead, my bad.
No, I was just saying, like, I mean, I get it. Obviously, all men aren't bad. I love everyone. I want to just promote.
We're all
more
stupid,
love.
though.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I'm not saying that sarcastically, right? No. We're idiots.
No. We just need more men to admit that.
I mean, and if you think about it, you know, one of my favorite movies is Wonder Woman. Just saying, like, I think
which one?
The second or the
most recent one.
The most recent.
Because they made 2 very recently, right?
Very recent.
In the past 3 years, there's been 2 Wonder Woman movies.
The 1984 one.
Yeah.
I think that was like a prequel. Is that the one?
Oh, okay, not that one.
Okay.
I mean the most recent one with
It's the Indian actress.
She's Indian.
I thought.
I don't think so.
I think she's Palestinian.
Yeah, I know she's something, but I don't know. But yeah, she did an amazing job, phenomenal job. I love that one. But anyway, I just feel like for so long, you know, men have ruled everything, made all the decisions, and we're fucked. And now it's like, okay, well, what if women kind of step in and have a different perspective, and not just women, like, you know, inclusive, just inclusive.
Yes.
Just inclusive.
Right.
Not one or the other, one more than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Just inclusive, because it may take us a little farther.
Right. And, you know, the world and society in general is going through that struggle as a whole.
Yes.
So there's smaller individual scales of it, and then there's broad scales of just lack of inclusion. I'd say that's a top 5 problem in this country. It's the reason why we can't move forward.
Yeah.
What would you say is a breath of fresh air when you're looking at a project and you could just tell that a woman directed it, as opposed to something that's just the traditional run-of-the-mill thing you see all the time?
Are we saying, like, okay, so for example, I know
it could be like wardrobe, it could be certain colors, it could be certain just
choice of actors, actresses.
What's something that stands out as like, oh yeah, I know a woman
I have a few of
this.
these. Okay, so one of the first ones would be the Wakanda movie.
Black Panther.
Sorry, yes, I always do that. My bad. Yes, Black Panther. Yes, great. The styling in there, I know that was done by a woman. I cannot remember her name at this moment, but I remember that moment. I remember researching it and like seeing it all on Twitter, and like yeah, like that was a thing. Another one I love the P Valley show.
Yeah, yeah.
That shit's dope, and it was written by Katori Hall, so I think that's dope.
There's a lot of really cool like lighting and the way they like
lighting,
make the lady's skin.
The emphasis
looks.
on certain things, you know, the writing in it is dope. Like certain things that they're talking about, certain quotes and stuff. All that shit is just really dope. Hey Lex, what's up? So yeah, it's just, I would say those are two that stand out. As far as like written or directed or just involving women on that side of things. Obviously, I love anything Issa Rae. She's so inspiring to me. I started watching her when I was younger, like in high school maybe, or yeah.
That was on the YouTube?
Yeah, the YouTube show she had. Misadventures of an
It was
awkward black girl.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah.
Sorry, I be smoking, y'all. Yeah, I forget. But yes, I love that show, and I love Insecure. And even her movies, I just like her humor. I'm all in with Issa Rae, you know. Also, Lena Waithe. She's really dope, really, really dope. And she's showing up for the LGBTQ plus community, which I love. I'm a big proponent of just inclusiveness, you know, and the way that she writes and directs. I know some of her projects have been controversial, which is totally fine. But she does some really good work. She's undeniable. So, yeah.
That's really cool. Well, since we're on the topic of ladies, let's talk about some lady artists and some people who you have been working with recently. Okay. Who's some people on your radar that you really like, female wise?
That's a good one.
I know you got. Look, you.
Oh yeah. Wait, I'm gonna look at my.
Your music. Your music choices and like your like creativity in terms of photography and stuff is what made me really like oh man, this girl Tristan is like she's super cool. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
Nothing. You slipped up.
It's fine.
Oh man, this girl.
It's okay.
Travie.
We're gonna bleep it. Don't worry about it.
Unicorn. Travie.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, we're gonna put the bleeps in there. Yeah.
But yeah, who's some of the artists that's on your radar?
Okay, some of the artists that are on my radar. So when I do listen to like more of the rap music, I love Tierra Whack. I like Mulatto. Mulatto is dope. Big Lotto, big money, big Lotto. I like her. She's fire. I like how we've seen her kind of grow and just, I just love what she's doing. And
did she start off the rap game?
She did, that's so like funny. She like followed the formula and like.
Do you remember we watched some of that?
Yeah, I remember that. That was a moment, you know, and I love seeing people just go through the process. Like,
it's hilarious.
That was dope. So I like Mulatto. I like Cardi B, of course, and I love the icons though. So I'm like stuck with, you know, the Rihanna, Nicki Minaj. Who else I like listen to regularly? I also listen to a lot of like international stuff too. There's this French artist that I was listening to. I gotta find her name, but that, and then I also like pop music. I love Halsey. Billie Eilish is cool. Baby Goth. I just like a variety of stuff, but I would say like women wise, I love like playing women's music for sure. Like it tends to make me feel better, you know, feel more confident. I think we need to promote more confidence, and that's something that even if they're not saying it in the music, it's still like promoting like togetherness. And we like, you know, especially in our community, black women, black men even, we, you know, gotta come for each other. It always has to be that, you know, it's never just togetherness. And so I feel like the more music made by women, the more it'll bring us together, if that makes sense. So
I agree with all that, and not that it's just totally an anomaly, but it's always cool to see some footage of like a woman being in charge of the whole show, or just be like a young woman, and be like, okay, like.
Great.
Right. Like, finally, maybe it
Yeah.
won't just be 15 people jumping behind the artist
Oh my God.
on a porch, and then it say directed by this person, and it's just like, well, was it? What did that dude say? Hey, y'all 15 dudes, jump around in the back for 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's always the same.
And then
formula.
that be kind of like the blueprint of videos these days.
for the past 20 years.
So yeah,
I think it's awesome. I was following you on Instagram for a while and just looking at some of the people you've worked with on here. It's just incredible. It's just
Thank
incredible.
you.
Who's some of your favorite people that you have worked with?
One of my favorite people that I ever got to shoot was Waka Flocka.
Nice.
Like, that shit was dope. Like, well, Dan, I was really into festivals at one time. I still am, very much so. Like, shout out Bonnaroo, family, everybody. Like, yes. RIPGO, yes. But I've always looked at him like, dang, like, this nigga really, like, came in and, like, is doing some different shit. Like,
Right.
you should insert the clip of T-Pain, like, do some different shit.
yeah, do some different shit.
I can
Aubrey,
fuck with bro for
you
that.
gotta do
your work
it.
cut out for
Yeah.
you.
T-Pain, do different shit.
Do something else! Holy shit!
Yes, do some different shit, man. Like, fuck, we want to hear something else. Like, the world is ours. Like, do something else. Like, I get it. People like it now, but do some other shit. People don't know what they like until they hear it or see it, or feel it, whatever. So, yeah, I would say Waka for sure. Who else? Well, I've got to shoot Drake. I freaking love Drake. He's so talented. Anybody who does multiple things, I fucking love, because people used to try to make me feel bad for not just picking one. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not that simple for me, because I literally just like do this shit. I mean, I can't explain it in any other way. I'm not saying that I'm trying to do everything and do all this stuff. It's just, it flows through me in that way, and I take it to the level that I need to, like, just that simple. And I will focus on that thing for that when I'm working on it, and then I have other shit, I guess the same way a good breakdown would be, if you are a banker, that's something that there's a lot of different roles in a bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe you prefer to write the checks. Maybe you prefer to be and guard the vault. I don't fucking know, but some people have to fucking work by themselves. Some people do a double shift. A few people at one time that have to play a lot of roles. So that's just how I live my life, and I do the best at each one when I do it. Period. So.
I think that's what is most interesting about you, and that's what was kind of like damn, like Travie. Because I promise you, I'm finna keep saying right. I'm finna keep
She
saying
gonna come across this table.
Right. When I met Travie, I realized that this is a very unique individual, because all the things she's saying she's into, when you look into it, it's just like, oh shit, like she's good at all of these things, whereas most people are good at the one thing. I touched on it before about the photography. When did you get into photography? Like actually having the camera and shooting it?
So I got into photography, I would say in high school. So in high school, all my high school friends know this, but so I was in like this weird bad car accident, and I was at home like for like most of my senior year. And so during those days, I would like be at home, like doing my work, of course, but I would also like take these really unique pictures of myself, like not anything crazy. I know OnlyFans is a thing now. It was not then. It's not like that at all. Just like creative photos. So I would like build a set and like sit the camera up and like just, get a cute picture. I mean, MySpace was a thing at that time. People just weren't doing that type of stuff, So I was posting it on Facebook. I was posting it on MySpace, just whatever. And it wasn't even like a big photo thing then, but I was doing it. And also like Tumblr. I was getting into Tumblr. So that's kind of like when I started like just learning about the camera, learning about myself being in front of the camera, whatever. From there, so that was high school, go to college. College, I was not doing anything with, oh, yes, I was. College, I ended up doing sideline reporting. So I was actually studying film and political science.
Oh, cool.
So I was going to take the LSAT. It was a whole thing. That was like a moment, right? It didn't happen. I'm so thankful. But yes, that was a moment where I was working, I was doing the news thing. So I was learning about behind the camera for like videography and people, making news reporters making their reels and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started, the sideline reporting, that required me to really like dive into the camera a little bit.
And what kind of camera were you using back then?
Back then, I was using a little like digital camera like that I like had. Like I was using shit. And then I started learning more about like Photoshop, different things like that. And then I started being like, okay, I need to. And then there was a thing where I could like rent a camera, I think. So I rented one from like the school. And then from there, I wasn't doing too much photography in college. It was more so the film side and just like getting into that. But then fast forward to maybe like 4 years ago, like after I've graduated, I picked the camera back up. I was like, I think a camera fell in my lap type shit, and I was like, this shit's some money, you know what I'm saying? Like, what am I, and I fucking took it, and it was actually a family member that had passed, and I ended up getting her camera, and it was like, dang, and I'm all like spiritual, so I'm like, damn, like,
I gotta do this,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the time, I started shooting with a Sony A77 or something. That was a camera that she had, and I loved it. It got the job done. It had its discrepancies because it was stuff that I needed that I couldn't do with it, so I had to just make it work. And then after that, I went on a tour and learned some shit, and I just I used someone's camera for that tour, and then I ended up just getting my own new thing that I knew that everybody was, the best camera out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was like, shit, and that shit just went up from there. I just kept working at it, and we're here.
What would you say in the time of you learning to use the camera in a more technical sense? What is your favorite thing to shoot? Do you like people? Do you like cars? Do you like nature?
Like videos versus stills?
You're really good at shooting people.
Yeah.
And people are really good at shooting people. That don't mean that that's what they like to shoot, though.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not the biggest fan of shooting people. I actually like the idea of, like, traveling and shooting nature or animals or some shit. Like, I think that's so beautiful and peaceful.
Same.
People are very demanding and, it's broad, with people. You never know what you're going to get.
Right.
I do my best to make people look amazing because I'm like, yo, as long as we get something good out of this. Like,
that parent ain't going to text you the next day talking about when are the edits, what the picture's looking like.
Exactly. Like that, that beautiful wolf over there.
Right. The wolf,
going on about his business.
Right. That wolf ain't finna send you 10 emails talking about when can I get them.
Right. But no, I've always had a really deep love for animals. So I like the idea of like shooting animals in nature. I think like when I get older, I would love to just like dive in and, like a retired mom or something, like really just go ham with that. I would love that. But, people are beautiful too in their own way.
What would you do if you saw a unicorn in real life?
I wouldn't show anyone the photo.
Where did that nickname or love for come about?
Well, going to festivals definitely set the tone for the nickname Unicorn, Travie. Just in a space of when you're like, at a festival and you're surrounded by people and it's just such a beautiful moment and you're connecting with people, like conversations musically, enjoying the same music, you know, and all these, you know, substances are involved and all this shit. Like, it's just such a beautiful experience. And, you know, I'm a little different than a lot of people, you know, in terms of I would go to festivals and shoot, you know, sometimes, but then I would also be there just, you know, to enjoy the show. So just over time connecting with different people, it just was a name that stuck on me, just being in that space, in that, I guess, imaginary space, creative space. It just stuck. Like, you're like a unicorn, you know, and it just kind of stuck with me.
So when did you start? I'm making sure I'm checking off all the things, many things that Travie does. When did you start getting a love for styling, like the nude apparel? Like when did that become part of the repertoire?
So the nude apparel, I started the nude apparel in 2017, I think. Yes, 2017. And I literally was like, why am I buying so many clothes? Like, I want to make my own shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is just, we spend, like, literally I had, like, just a high moment, like, we buy so many clothes.
We do, though.
You know, and I was just like, I want to be a major brand that, you know, can bring diversity to our style, you know. I learned how to sew in high school, and I just always had a deep interest in, like, fashion. Like, when I was mentioning the photos I took in high school of myself, I would style myself too and just wear just shit I could find in my closet that my parents may not let me wear, you know, like, I don't know, a cool dress that's like I have nowhere to wear it to or whatever. Like, so I've always had an interest in style and fashion. Also, coming back to Atlanta after being in California for a while, style is very different there to here as well. So people, I definitely had moments like in college, the dean, they had to pull me aside, like, yo, what are you wearing? You know what I'm saying? I'm not like working around with lingerie or anything. It's just like, I'm chilling, you know? Like, why do I have to? I don't want to wear the hoodie and the paraphernalia, free merch. I don't want to do that. I want to wear what I want to wear, you know? So, yeah, like, it was definitely a difference in style and fashion. And so being that, like, oddball out in a sense at that time, it was like people was looking at my fashion, like I'd wear cowboy boots, I'd wear like a cool, just different shit, and people would be like, what you wearing? You know? And so being in that space, experiencing that, made me want to create my own shit and make it for people who are the unicorns in the room, you know? So that's the nude apparel, all coming back very soon. It's very like, I release in waves. So when it's here, it's here. When it's gone, it's not.
I think that's so cool. What's a thing that you would want to add to the list, or do you have your crafts already lined up enough now to where you don't need no more? What's on Travie's dream list of things to add to the repertoire?
So for me, I used to have an interest. Well, I kind of still do. When you see the people who make rug tufting.
Rugs, like
people who just make
carpets,
rugs. Like little carpets. Yeah,
I've actually seen a few people doing that.
Look it up, rug tufting. It's such a cool thing. Like, I think it's so dope and relaxing looking. There's this lady. She makes these really dope rugs. There's no way I'll find her name if I look on Instagram, but super dope. Just making different types of rugs. Like, someone would make a rug of you sitting here just like this right now. Like,
that's
that type
crazy.
of shit, you know? So yeah, I like the idea of that. And then also, I have been working on something amazing. So I've been exploring new mediums within the past few weeks. So another thing that's happened just in my life, so working with different artists, whether it be artist development, styling, photography, having plans to do films, all these things, like, those are some of the ways that I connect with people, you know, through my clients. And through over the past like 5 months, I've literally lost like 3 or 4 clients like who are no longer here. And it's just really fucking sad, you know? And it's really influenced and impacted me to want to explore the medium of music, kind of in a way that's like healing in a sense, like or as if someone has said to me like they're working through me now, because I've always wanted to breed and just help the best artists, you know, but people aren't always ready to receive that, you know, and that's just what it is, you know, either locked up or in a situation, you know, that is just unfortunate. So going through that, like I said, that has pushed me into the new medium of music. So I've been working on some dope stuff.
I am very glad and excited to hear about that. That's, I mean, it makes sense. You know,
Really?
if you, it does make sense, because if you get as good at that as you are with other things,
Right. That's
who
the
you
only
gotta
way to
reach out
go.
to?
The only thing you're missing. That's the only thing you're not.
Ain't
you don't
nobody
have
else to
your
reach
own
out
artist.
to.
Right. That's the only way to go, man. I just feel like all these mediums have just flown through me. It's not about me trying to be this level, this is just, I just be going, you know? So was invited to a studio session, and here we are. Like, I fucking fell in love with music all over again.
Nice.
And now I'm like, okay, what now? You know, I feel like I was having anxiety. I have crazy anxiety sometimes. So I do a lot of meditation and stuff like that. That's another conversation. But yes, having anxiety, just wondering, you know, if people would be like, oh, she's doing too much or da-da-da-da. But it's like, whatever. Like, they said that about the last thing. Like, whatever. And I still did it and did a fucking amazing job. Like, why not just, you know, just keep it pushing. Do the same thing here, you know? So that's pretty much what I'm on. And, yeah, so I'm about to release a couple of things and, change the world with some music now.
Okay.
That's really awesome. I was gonna ask you about this bottle in front of you, this
Yes.
Hello Kitty bottle.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever had? Well, first of all, what you sipping on over there?
So I have some Casamigos and some water. I'm trying to drink more of the water.
You interested in popping this Hello Kitty open and
This
maybe
thing
taking a
is
shot?
so cute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of it.
Oh yeah, go ahead. You got it. Joe, you been drinking today?
Well, we took 3 shots before this one, so yeah, I'm pretty drunk, and I had some orange juice and tequila earlier.
So that's why you sit over there and you're not saying nothing.
Oh, that's probably why. Yeah, I guess we can say that's why.
Joe did good the last 2 episodes though.
I did
Right. He did.
I talked. Oh man.
Well, yeah. Let's pop this Hello Kitty open and pour a little shizai.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to post this. I'm not posting it. I'm just trying to send it to myself so I can save it.
Yeah, you good. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce this champagne, but this is supposed to be some nice little champagne. Jacques Barthelot, actually.
That's it.
Yeah,
I think
Jacques
you did a good job, man.
Barthelot, and then we've got the Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty.
All right,
Say
I'm
hello
gonna
to the
take a picture of this. This
kitty.
is cute. Where'd you find this? I know
We sell
Danny
at
doing all the shit.
We
but-
sell at the job.
wow, really?
And
This is really cute.
sake is starting to become a really big,
Wow,
big
12%.
thing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, y'all.
Let's pop
I'll
this
let you
thing
guys
open.
open it. I'm definitely down.
Shout out to Hello Kitty, man. This is the portion of the show where we try drinks, and this is the first time you're gonna see Dan drink on the show. They talking about some. You talking about last few episodes? Dan don't drink no more.
Yeah.
You shitting me?
That's how much you supposed to drink?
Oh, Lord.
No,
I'll let you pour your own.
Yeah, I don't want that much.
I'll let you pour your
I'm
own.
gonna show you guys this bottle. Dope.
Yeah, I think I'm stopped right there.
The bottle's deceptive because I thought this would be a pink liquid.
Yeah.
Or is it? Or some point of
I
it
think
pink?
no, I had to like shake it up good first. So I'm gonna do. It reminds me of like, have you guys ever had? Can I have the top part?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had soursop?
No,
Heard
what
of
is
soursop?
that?
So soursop is a fruit. It's not even in the United States, but they sell the juice here, and it's very good for you. So I encourage you to look it up. But it's the same like consistency. It looks like. Whew,
I don't want to say what I think this looks like. All right, so let's just take this.
Boom! I found it right here. All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Unicorn.
Cheers to a nice episode.
Cheers.
Cheers to seeing Travie after a while.
Boy.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Oh,
bad at
right.
all.
Not bad. Don't really taste like much.
Okay. It might be like real good if it's like cold.
Yeah, probably need to be cold.
But it's
Just
good.
been sitting on my bar for a while.
This is cool.
Yep.
Dang, you always put me on new drinks. I'm gonna have to come in.
Man,
now.
shout
Hello Kitty.
out to the liquor store, man. I didn't know nothing about much of anything before I started working there. And now I well-rounded in the
connoisseur.
I definitely am a liquor connoisseur now.
Yes, definitely.
For sure.
That should be, bro. You gotta do a segment like that.
Yeah, we have a handful of ideas in terms
Yeah.
of segments. Even
I gotta
something
be
like
into
this
that.
is kind of a segment we've had an
Gotcha.
idea of. Try a new drink and then let that lead
Yes.
to whatever. But yeah,
You just talking about beer, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know. It would just be great. I mean,
Would you like to be
Beer
the creative director for the damn show?
I definitely could help out in some ways. For
right.
Sure,
I
man.
know you look in this little set like, boy, these some niggas in here.
Like, oh, they did this shit
Yo,
themselves.
right.
get it
Sounds some
done.
niggas.
Get it done by any means. I believe in that wholeheartedly. So look, I support. I'm cool. This is a step in the right direction. Period. You're here. You know what I'm saying? So,
I appreciate it, and go ahead.
I definitely look at what you do, your work, and I'm like goals. I'm like that's what I'm trying to. That's
Me
what
too.
I'm trying to be. I'm like, man, she
Me too.
is. I actually never heard of the title creative director before I met you, or before Dan had told me about you. I was like, and then I looked at, it, I was like, that's what I want to do. I like creative. Like when I see you doing, I'm like, boom, she's doing something that's dope, and she does a great job at it. I'm like, it's very impressive looking at what you have done.
I appreciate that.
Same here. To piggyback off of what he said, when I first met you, I was just getting started. I didn't even own a camera yet, so to become friends with you and to like link up with you like we would just do work. We would link up. We grab a bite, and then we would just work on whatever respective things we both have. And I would just try to pick. And afterwards, I'd be like, man, this girl probably think I'm crazy because, like, I be trying to get as much knowledge out of her brain as she will tell me. I still have saved notes in my phone. It says Travie notes. Yeah, like you said, I look at your stuff and I'm like, man, I got to get to that level.
Yeah,
I got to get to that level for sure.
That makes me feel great.
So it feels good to know that I have you as a friend that I can reach out to.
Yeah.
It's great that she's able to come on and
course.
record with us.
Yes.
You want to tell the people where they can find you?
Of course. So you can find me currently at Unicorn Travie on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook even. But you don't need to check for me on Facebook. And then I also have a music page that you guys should check out as well. And it's at No.3 Music Official. And that's No.3 Official.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys obviously know where to follow me and Joe. We're not as cool as Robbie.
They are cool.
So
We're trying,
but we're gonna try. Like we're gonna get to that level one day. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. I guess I don't have to say like and subscribe anymore if you're please do if you're new.
Subscribe,
I guess I have to say.
subscribe.
I guess you got to say that shit every episode.
We tried not to, but
Please
man,
like and
please,
subscribe
Lord,
my
mercy,
video and
subscribe.
drop a comment and talk about how stupid that was for me to say it that way. But yeah, thanks. We gonna get out of here.
Later.
Shout out to Unicorn Travie.
Peace.
Peace.